start this video with a bit of an apology because as I speak now, my little brother is moving house and as big sister duties, I said I'd help him. But last week I had a very shiny red email drop into my inbox inviting me to the brand new Sevilla circuit here in Spain to ride the brand new 2025 Ducati Panigale V2. Now, Ducati say that this is the official training bike for their MotoGP riders, Marquez and Francesco Bagnaia. So, it's good enough for them for training. How can I say no to this opportunity? I hope you can forgive me, bro, especially when you see how awesome this bike is.
So this is Ducati's new Panigale V2, which replaces their last Super Quattro 955cc engine as seen in the last Panigale V2 that produced around 155 horsepower. This new 2025 model now sees the bike at 890cc, producing 120 horsepower, which will be available as a V2 or V2S model. Both models have plenty of standard features such as Brembo brakes, a 5-inch full TFT dash, 4 riding modes, as well as Ducati's extremely sophisticated advanced vehicle control package. The V2S is what I'll be riding today and comes in at a slightly higher price tag, but will have features like all-round Öhlins suspension and Ducati's power launch and pit lane limiter. There's also an optional race exhaust which takes the bike to 126 horsepower and trims another 4.5 kilograms off the bike. There is a dedicated Panigale track package available, which consists of that exhaust, as well as lower fairing, Öhlins steering damper, adjustable foot pegs with carbon heel guards, lowered handlebars, clutch and generator covers, and caps for mirror and license plate removal. But if you spend most of your time enjoying your Panigale on the road, then it has the ability to install cruise control, turn-by-turn navigation, and a USB power socket.
It would have been nice to have another exotic name to follow Super Quattro, but here we are with V2 and V2S. But that's the same as the V4 and the V4S that was launched earlier last year. And the V4S went down a storm, so I'm really hopeful for this bike, even though it's had a bit of shade thrown at it since it was announced a couple of months ago, because on paper it is down on power. It does in fact have a double-sided swing arm rather than a single-sider, and it no longer uses Ducati's desmodromic valves. Plus, it's the bike that Ducati won 2 World Supersport Championships on, and then they decided to change it. Now, before coming here to beautiful Seville in Spain, I had the opportunity to grill Ducati UK's managing director, Fabrizio Cazzoli, at Motorcycle Live, and put all of these questions to him, as well as the Ducati gods here in Spain, about why they've made those decisions. And the simple answer that they've given is that those changes are only enhancing this bike's performance, and if anything, in their tests between the new bike and the older model, the new bike performed on par with it. That was both with a professional rider and an amateur rider. Now, they're saying that this bike's superpower is its weight loss. It is 17 kilograms lighter than the previous model, and here on track you're really going to notice the difference in the corners. Now, I've heard all of that from them, but I am so grateful for the opportunity that I am here at Circuito de Sevilla to put it to the test myself. I want to know whether I'm actually going to feel the gains that the weight loss has given this bike. So thank you so much, Ducati, for this opportunity. Let's get out there.
So we're here, getting ready in the garage to ride the brand new 2025 Panigale V2S at Circuito de Sevilla. 2.6 miles long, 16 corners. It's actually the third longest track in Spain after Aragon and Catalonia. And I believe it only opened at the end of 2024, so this is actually a brand new track for the majority of the riders here. We're all going to be learning this track at the same time, as well as learning this bike. But there's something quite exciting about that. Bruce! Ow! Just be having it. Fresh leathers, fresh sliders. Right, Panigale, let's see what you got for us. Look at this, full factory. Gracias. Oh, it is light, isn't it? Just picking it up off the stand. Taking a bit to learn. Oh, some of these fast corners are lovely though. This bit I'm getting a bit confused on. There's a few blind bits here. Knowing how fast to go. And trusting that it's going to be there. Oh, that's nice!
Alright, already recording. What are you recording?
You saying that? Give us a wave then.
Oh yeah, you are recording.
That is so funny that everyone came back after that first session and was like, wow, I don't know which way we're going. What gear should we be in? We should be on the left. Ah! That was so much fun. Okay, let's give it another go. So I've currently got it in race mode, which gives the least amount of electronic assistance, but it also gives you full power and the most aggressive throttle map. And it's so enticing seeing your lap time come up on the dash. There's 3 different dash settings as well. I mean, I love the Ducati dashes. They're so clear, really easy to use. But it does give you 3 different setups. I think it's Road Pro and Track, which just means it gives you the most relevant information in each of the contexts. Ducati want to make the best of the best in this segment, and it is just such a fun bike to ride. The lightness means you can flip-flop it from side to side. The handling is supreme. I'm so impressed. Okay, right, for this session we're in race mode, and I'm gonna have the help of Dario, who is just gonna show me some lines, Show me some braking markers and the like. There he is. Right, let's give this a go. So he's in the middle of the track there. Yeah, sort of brings it in. A bit of peg scraping there. Okay, I got a thumbs up from Dario, so that's good. Okay. Woo! Look around the corner. Pull it in tighter. On the gas. He's making me vibrate. Middle of the track, bring it round, clip this apex. Woo! Oh, nice. A thumbs up, the throttle for Dario. Okay, let's see. Yeah? Yeah.
You ride very well in the slow parts, very beautiful.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
She rides very well.
Look at that. What the hell was that? Oh, you can just tell the weight loss and how light this bike is making the handling so good. In the corners you can literally point, steer and it will go. The handling is incredible. Alone is 9.5 kilograms lighter than the previous model. The wheels as well, kilogram lighter. All of this is contributing to making it a really well handling ride. So this Panigale V2 uses Brembo's M50 calipers. Rather than its big sister, the V4, uses the high pures, but I'm not feeling that anything's wrong with these M50s. But it does show the difference between the V2 and the V4, because it's got different calipers. The suspension is slightly different as well, because on the V4 it's semi-active, whereas this is mechanical. But Ducati say that they've done that for a price. They are doing the job on this bike. These flip-flop bits at the end of the circuit are not my favourite. And actually I've been taking it in third a couple of times. But the torque of this bike just pulls it out of corners. The torque, 70% of the torque is accessed at 3,000 revs. Yeah, I can confirm that that is true. and that's all going to be helped by that variable valve timing. Just spreading that torque across the range is so good. I'm the fastest time in that session. Well happy with that. I'm not the fastest out there, but this bike is giving me an adrenaline shot, and I'm improving. It's friendly, it's forgiving, it's light and agile, it's ticking all the right boxes, even though people were moaning about it. So after a day of riding a brand new track, some tips from Dario Marchetti, and a lot of shouting at a GoPro, my verdict is that I absolutely love the new Panigale V2. Ducati have started with a completely new bike, designing with a blank sheet of paper, as they say. And when they were designing, they had the customer in mind. Someone who wants a bike that's easy to ride and a bike they can enjoy without being daunted by horsepower. But they also considered their racing routes. For example, they could only use 70% of the throttle on the old model to meet supersport racing regulations. So it almost presented the question of, what's the point in having a bike that needs to be so detuned? They may as well start from scratch. And this leads on to that desmodromic valve debate, but it just doesn't suit the characteristics of this new bike. Ducati can perfectly control the dynamic of the valves with a traditional spring timing system without adding the complexity, the weight and the maintenance cost derived from the Desmo system. They've not taken these decisions lightly, but the result is a bike that is more usable, more comfortable, and still offers loads of track performance. So despite all the nitpicking when the press release first came out, I can confirm that it makes sense. When I was in Spain, I was speaking to Ducati's head of product communications, and he was saying that to make a bike now is really tough. So he was saying that if you want to have performance, you have to be flexible to meet the Euro 5 plus regulations. And for Ducati, this was the best compromise. And I think that's what Ducati have tried to do with the new Panigale V2, where there's less focus on power and more thinking about weight and the overall riding package, both on the road and on track, but with all the same styling and sexiness that we're used to seeing from Ducati. I mentioned the word forgiving at the end of my last track session, and actually this was the best place to test whether it was forgiving, because we spent a lot of time learning a new track, so we all made plenty of mistakes figuring out where to go. But the Panigale did not twitch, and that's what I meant about being forgiving. It let me make mistakes but still remained composed. It's such a light bike for this power output, and that paired with the punchy V2 heart and that astronomical torque made it fantastic for me on track. It is a slightly softer riding position rather than being extremely aggressive. You're less loaded on your wrists, which would hopefully make it a bit more friendly on the road, but neither did I feel it subtracted anything from the track riding experience. I'm actually struggling to pick fault with it. For a rider like me, yes, if you take it to a track that's a lot faster than Seville, like Silverstone for example, then you may find places where it's lacking in power, but the overall package makes it such an accessible and friendly bike for a lot of riders. And maybe if I had a second day on track with it, then I definitely would have played around with the settings a bit more to give me a bit more feel on the front. There's places I know where I could be faster, but that's the beauty of the new Panigales. The electronics package is better than any other bike in this segment, and you can tailor the settings individually within the preset modes. So I dare say that if you had a bit more time with it, then you can play around and find exactly how you want it. And this bike will allow you to explore how you want it without scaring the wits out of you. It will be really interesting to see how the V2 fares against Yamaha's upcoming R9, which is only about a month away. But Ducati is in a really good place right now. The racing is going strong. The 2025 lineup is fresh. They feel a little bit unstoppable at the moment. So I'm truly grateful that I've had the opportunity to ride their latest and lightest Panigale V2 of all time. Thanks for watching. Over to you.